Hello, and thank you for stopping by the Massachusetts Beer Reviews channel of YouTube. I am Thomas Metal75, and this is your Massachusetts Beer Reviews, making some questionable judgment here. As you can see from part of the title, or maybe you can't, it says, in parentheses, man drinks year-old IPA. And this IPA, as you can tell from the title, is the Bluepoint Brewing Company's Mosaic Session IPA. It's been Long Island's brewery since 1998. And if you can't see it right there, it says bottled on May 12, 2016. I bought this summer variety pack from a store in my town I'm not going to mention. Keep them anonymous. For $14.39 for a 12-pack variety. And, you know, part of the problem was it was a variety pack. It comes in a big box. You can't see dates anywhere in these things. So I brought it home. I opened one of these beers. It was a summer ale, and it didn't have any, carbonation, barely. It didn't have any head to speak of. It just kind of tasted flat. And I looked at the bottle, and it said 2016, almost to the year. So I'm going to drink it. I'm going to review it for what it is. I'm not going to give it any extra, denomination of rating just because it's old. I'm going to give this one a fair shot, but if it tastes old, you're getting a bad review. So please leave your comments and thoughts below if you think that variety packs or 12 packs of bottles should have a bottling or a packaged on date so you know what you're getting. Because it's kind of ridiculous. But man tries year-old IPA again. Mosaic Session IPA in the Teku glass. They say on the packaging that this is 50 IBUs, 4.8% alcohol by volume. I believe they're using Mosaic, Centennial, and Simcoe for the hops in this one. And it's got some head, some carbonation, barely any to speak of. The chat's open if anybody wants to comment. Have to be careful is right, Lance. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's not much of a hoppy smell. There's some, you can tell it is an IPA. You can tell it's a session IPA. It's got some light lemony notes, some light grassy notes, some grapefruit, and pineapple. That's really about it. Maybe some biscuity malts, some lemoniness. There you go. A little bit hazy. If you can find the carbonation, you might see just a couple of streams of it. But let's see how, since May 12th, 2016, this has held up. I'm not aging this. Cheers. It wasn't by my design. It's a little prickly. It is soft. It's in session IPA. It's 4.8%, and that's exactly how it's drinking. It's on the medium side, but light to medium. Crisp, clean. It is pretty refreshing. Believe they make the Bluepoint beers. It says contains wheat, brewed and bottled by Bluepoint Brewing Company, Stratford, Connecticut, for Bluepoint Brewing Company, which is in Pocatchee, New York. So, yeah, but the flavors are crisp, clean, ultra refreshing. You're getting some of that passion fruit. You're getting some of the grapefruit, the pineapple. There's a good lemony sensation to it. I guess I kind of am getting a wheat malt element. 50 IBUs seems about right. It dries very, very fast. A little bit florally, a little bit tropical fruity, as you would expect. Nothing out of the ordinary as far as an IPA is concerned. I think even getting away, gypsy beer, well, I don't think it's a gypsy beer. Lance the Rush says, is this a gypsy? Lance the Lush asked if this is a gypsy beer. And no, it's not. They actually have the and I don't think it's a contract brew. What they do is this is an actual brewery in Long Island, Bluepoint. They make the toasted lager, but I guess for the southeastern New England region that I live in, that's who's making they're making the beer for them. In Stratford, Connecticut has the Two Roads Brewery, which is a brewery that makes Two Roads beers, and they also make the Lawson's Finest Liquid Super Session No. 2 and the Sip of Sunshine. So sometimes they get their beers out into our area. Stratford, Connecticut's Two Roads will brew it. But if I have to get back to the beer, even though this Mosaic Session IPA doesn't, is a year old, it's not ultra flavorful beer here. This has the light tropical notes, some maltiness, some floral notes. It's not really wowing me, I guess. Crisp, clean, refreshing. I'm going to give this one, give it a high C+. I think a year earlier it might have been better. The carbonation might have been crisper. The hop flavor might have been a little bit more intense. As you drink IPAs, or as you buy an IPA, and the older the IPA gets, the more of that hop flavor initially is going to die down, where the beer is practically going to just turn into a pale ale or even an amber ale in its flavor. And I realize that in the 1700s, let's say 1600s, when English settlers were going over to the New World, or going from England to India, they came up with the idea of putting more hops into their beers for the long voyages, because hops are supposed to be a natural preservative of the beer and let it keep longer. So traditionally, these kind of beers aren't even supposed to be, drink it fresh now, hops stupid, wasn't meant to be that way. They're for natural preservatives. And I don't think they were so crazy about fresh beer as they were. Beer is actually one of the more safe things to drink, because they didn't realize that boiling water actually killed bacteria. But yeah, it's a high C+, even if it was a little bit newer and had some more crisp carbonation zing and a little bit more of the upfront hoppy presence. I just don't think it's a very exciting beer. If you want to try the Founders All Day IPA, that's by far a really better and great session IPA. They make at Stratford, Connecticut. Again, they do the Lawson's Super Session No. 2, and that's by far a better session IPA for 4.8%, and it is more of a New England style IPA. So here's my little rant here about old beers and buying a variety pack. I think you need on a variety pack, you have no way to know when these beers were bottled. You can't open up the variety pack. You can't go and look at the bottling date unless you try to turn the bottles around in the packaging where the handles are and try to peek through it. You're never going to know. And I think it would be a great idea if breweries like Sam Adams, Harpoon, Stone, Bluepoint, whoever makes these 12-pack varieties with the bottles on them, I think it would be a great idea if you had a packaged on date, or when this package of the variety pack was put together, so that we as the beer consumer know what it is that we're drinking. And you know what? I just decided to bite the bullet for $14.39 and not try to get my money back and not try to go through the whole hassle of getting a store refund or having them replace it, because this is the first time with the variety pack it's happened, and, it's not undrinkable. But you don't want to do that, especially in really higher-priced beers. You don't really want to spend all this money and then have really old beers and have IPAs that probably don't taste the way that they, are intended. So, guys, give me your thoughts and comments on what do you think about, do you think that's a good idea to have bottling dates or package dates for these variety packs that we can't tell when dates are for these things when they come out? So, let me know. Give me your comments and thoughts below on bottling dates and that whole thing, and if the distributor should be to blame for old beers on the shelf, or it should be the store's fault that they didn't put out this beer a year ago. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for hearing the rant. Man Drinks year-old IPA in Lives. Lance the Lush, thank you for watching live. Giving this one a C+. And until next time, keep tasting these great beers and newer ones. Cheers. See you soon.